And welcome to Naughty or Nice with Miss Cassie. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tonight, my very special guest is Master Gabriel.
Pleasure to be here.
Oh, I'm so glad to have you. And this is your girl, Birdie?
Yes.
Very nice to have you both here.
Thank you.
I'm glad you made it all the way to the studio.
We did
now
make
I
it
can
all the way to
actually
the studio.
poke my guests this time.
Except on occasion, I poke back. So.
Oh, then I'll poke you back. We'll have a poke fest.
Sounds good.
Just like on Facebook. Poke, 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 poke. I know I've got about 40 pokes to return. I love that poking game. Well, anyways, I am so glad you agreed to be on the show. You are definitely a man about town. You're into all sorts of interesting things.
Been a little busy lately, that I have.
You have. Just how many projects are you involved in at the moment?
All of them.
All of them.
We have, obviously, I have my household that's up and coming and building as we speak. I've got Gentlemen in Charge. We have Marketplace that we'll be building up at Sanctuary that the vendor package just went out this week for.
Nice.
We have Thirst that's going to be reopening that same night.
Nice.
I've got classes coming up. I've got a book that I'm writing. All kinds of fun things.
Oh my God, you've been very busy. What's your book about?
Household Dynamics.
Household dynamics. Very good. So lifestyle based then.
Lifestyle based, more on the BDSM skew. There seem to be a lot of books out there that are more on the leather end of things. So we're trying to bring it a little closer to our home in the kink and BDSM community. We talk about household dynamics and the varying degrees of it, including anything that you see on Safe at Life as to what it means to be in a family, what it means to be in the household on there, varying degrees of those.
And does that include poly as well?
It does.
Okay. Yeah, because some people definitely will, not include the two. There are some people that are very staunch about I am poly, only poly. We don't go down that kinky road.
Well, some households are poly households and some are not, so we definitely have to touch on that in order to get that broad spectrum of them.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's like each family dynamic is, individual and unique onto its own.
Definitely.
I know that I've been in many dynamics throughout my adult life, and not one of them was like the other. Different rules for every game.
There it is.
Yes, different players. So that is really awesome. So how long has this book been in the work?
It's been in the work for about a month now. Mr. Cyan herself first poked at me to start it up.
Nice.
It'll probably take a good long time to write it, but in the meantime, I've got plenty to keep myself busy.
Absolutely. So what's the next thing on the agenda here? What do you have coming up?
Actually, coming up most immediately would be DomCon Atlanta. I act as the voice of DomCon for both Atlanta and Los Angeles. So off to Atlanta I am, so I can utilize that microphone and talk myself into oblivion all weekend long.
Oh, nice. And hopefully you'll have a voice by the end of the weekend.
That's the hope, yes.
Yes, DomCon Atlanta is a fun little event.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So after that, we've got coming up, we have GIC actually this week. GIC is Gentlemen in Charge. That's our monthly party. Not quite a play party, it's a little bit more than a play party actually. It's a night for people to go out. It's high protocol. We do discussions for both the submissives and for the dominants at the beginning of the evening. We have food, we have drink, anything that you could possibly need. We have plenty of time to play in the evening. So a lot of information exchange, great people, and really have been able to bring that more gentlemanly version of a dominant back onto the table. Something like, you don't really see the most interesting man in the world, barking out orders. No, he's got the girls already right there lining up for him.
Yeah, I've heard really, really good things about GIC. It's really come along.
It's been a great showing, and we've had great numbers for it. A lot of good people that have been showing up. This month, actually, we'll be doing the first time where we actually are combining the discussions. So instead of separating like we normally do, or this month we're going to be having everybody in the same discussion discussing poly.
Interesting. That should be quite an interesting group.
That it is.
Have you ever been to any of the big poly events, like the poly pool party and stuff? Or?
No, I haven't. Not quite as of yet. I've been a little too busy to be able to go to anything like that right now.
Well, you'll have to go and explore it sometimes. Those events are a lot of fun, and it's really cool when you see poly families that really work well together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've seen some beautiful families out there.
Yeah.
You know, and it's always refreshing to, you know, see where people are at with it and what people's goals are and how, you know, certain dynamics came together, and it's fascinating. It absolutely is.
Definitely, and to see it working better than most regular relationships, so to speak, it's kind of makes you feel good about that.
That is awesome. Absolutely, you know, and you know, people learning whether they're poly or mono and stuff, it's quite the process to go through, you know, because not everybody's meant to be poly.
Right. Definitely.
Not everybody's meant to be mono. There are just those people that just cannot stick to one mate for their whole life. You know, but that's okay.
That is. It is.
You know?
I mean, I obviously am in the poly lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
So I have some people in my household that I'm with. So I mean, it's worked out really, really well.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. So how many people are there in your household?
In my household in total, there's 8 of us right now.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's growing. Like I said,
Wow.
just had a few sign on. In fact, Birdie here has been working through her evaluation for a few months, so she'll be getting her house cups here pretty shortly.
Very nice. You lucky girl.
Thank you.
So you do an evaluation process then?
I do minimum 3 months, and that gives time for not only them to kind of feel out what it's like and what the household's like, but also gives me a little bit of time to, you know, assess whether or not this is going to be a good fit for the household, a good fit for what it is that we do, and whether or not everything will work out.
Excellent, excellent. I like your dedication to that, you know, because so many of the dynamics that I've been involved with, they don't do stuff like that. They just kind of throw you in the mix and it's sink or swim.
Yeah.
You know. And
Well, I've made her sink or swim a little bit.
Oh, pray tell, do tell.
Well, during the evaluation period, obviously there's things to learn, there's protocol
Mm-hmm.
to learn and such, and as of these last few months, we've actually instituted standards. So by the time you're fully part of the household and fully collared or fully the dominant in the house, whichever way you're going, there are specific standards in the household that I know everybody in the house knows.
So you allow dominance as well as submissives and switches.
Yeah, I can't control all this stuff by myself. I got things to do.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, but it is a household. Not everybody needs to be necessarily collared to me. So it's more about growing and learning within. In fact, Mr. Gear, one of my longtime friends,
Mm-hmm.
who's been with me for probably longer than he'd like to say,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, he's working towards being a dominant himself after however many years it's been. What has it been, 4 or 5 years? He's been in service to me.
Yeah, he's been with you for as long as I've known you.
Yeah.
You know, and he was truly amazing. I always admired his service.
Good
You
man.
know, it is really hard to find a good submissive like that with, you know, those kind of standards and his attention to detail. You know, I look at him and I'm going, that's the kind of submissive I want.
Right.
I want somebody just like him. I haven't found one yet.
Oh, hang around my household, you'll find plenty. There's plenty of great people. I mean, obviously Birdie here has been a fantastic addition to our household. Quinn has been with me for over a year now. She's been an awesome addition to the household. We now have Steven and Star who have just joined in, and they're great people. And of course, Mr. Gear and V, who have been with me since actually the actual idea of the household first started. In fact, Gear was with me long before then, but that's kind of part of where this whole thing started at.
Well, what inspired you to start this whole thing?
Well, people started becoming attracted to what Gear and I were doing. We were doing leather work. I've done, you know, raven blood leather for a number of years. Gear's
Mhm.
been with me for several of those, helping with the booth, and he's one of the first people that I ever fully entrusted with my booth. I could walk away and not have a care, which is great because I suck at sales. But gear has been there for a long time. And then when B signed on, she wanted to be underneath gear, and it started to hit me a little bit. At the same time, I was being mentored still by Mr. Cyan, and some of the things that she had me reading, some of the things that I was working towards, really got me to thinking that this could potentially be something bigger and be something better, and not only for ourselves, but something better in the community. And it really has blossomed.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. It's so refreshing to hear that this kind of planning and dedication. Because I mean, there's a lot of DOMs out there, and they just basically just want to look good with a few girls on their arm, and
I already look good. I got a couple girls on my arm.
you do, you do, but you're a man of substance, and I think you're going to keep those girls with everything that you're doing. I mean, you put a lot of thought and dedication into this, which I thoroughly admire.
Much appreciated. But it's not just necessarily been me. It's been a lot of bouncing off ideas and bringing in some ideas, even from our submissives. And
So you have like family meetings, and everybody has a say?
On occasion, yeah, we do bring in family meetings. I'm head of household in this particular dynamic, so obviously what I say goes by the end of the day. Sometimes I look to other members of the household for their input on things. Sometimes it's the entire household. So it really is kind of dependent on what the subject is. But through this last year or so especially, I've bounced ideas off of Birdie, I've bounced ideas off of Command, off of Gear, off of V, even Steven and Star, and they're our newest members. And I'm sorry, I totally didn't even mention Exodus. Exodus has been floating around out there, actually busting his tail end, trying to work and be able to get out here.
Wow.
So I mean, he's actually been working quite a bit also. He worked under Mr. Gear in regards to training up to be a dominant as well. So soon enough, he'll be able to be a dominant also. But I mean, even everybody, Exodus, Gear, everybody has had some kind of input at some point in time. And that's what I want. I don't necessarily want just my own voice. I got enough voices in my head. Oh, I'm good with that.
Well, that's impressive, because I find that, when people work together in a consensus as compared to, a dictatorship, it makes for a much more balanced society, where everybody's had their say. Now, in the final end of things, there may be one person that makes a decision for everything. But, I mean, if you have all the input there and you have that to work with and you work towards a common goal and bringing it to a good end, that makes all the difference in the world. Rather than there's just somebody that's a dominant says, that's just the way it is, you're going to do it my way, and that's the only way it is.
I say that sometimes.
Well, I'm sure within reason.
But usually towards the tail end of getting some kind of information.
Anybody in that chat room now?
Yeah, we have Darren, we have Carrie, and there's lots of people that are watching the show and they are not in the chat room. Please come into the chat room. Come in and ask your burning questions. One of the questions is, Pig Carrie goes, "Sir, do you have room for one more member of the house?" Wink, wink, oink, oink, oink.
We love you, Pig Carrie. Of course. Get you right out to California.
and she loved your beard. Looks good. So yeah, there are a lot of people watching, so please come into the chat room. If you are watching the show, come in and join the conversation.
Yes, please. We want to hear your questions. This is a very interesting man we've got here.
Well, like I said, we've got a lot going on, not necessarily just myself, but I've mentioned Mr. Gear a couple times. He just started LA Next Gen, which is a next gen group, no age cap. So you can go in there as a brand new person. Doesn't matter what age you are, you can walk in there and learn and grow. And yeah, that's something different in this area. Most of the next gens have an age cap on it.
Yes.
So not having that age cap has really opened doors for a lot of people.
Yeah, and I know that he's been very proactive in planning the events. I know that he talked to me about actually being there for the one in December, which, he contacted me like 6 months ahead of time. Nobody does that.
No, my house does that.
And I mean,
and we will keep on top of you and hound you for the next 5 months to make sure that you're going to do it.
Well, when I commit to something, I'm always there. I'm very committable. More than one way.
Well, I didn't say you were committed, but,
Yeah,
if
hey,
you
I
wearing
can
the white
own
coat,
it.
by all means.
I can own it. Yeah, let's just hope that I'm on the other side of the white coat. It's not my color. Oh, my
We're all
God.
working together coming up in November 29th, yes?
Yes, sir.
November 29th, we'll be doing Sanctuary Marketplace, which is where we'll have several vendors there. I believe 22 vendors we have counted out currently,
Nice.
plus stage shows throughout the day, plus community outreach in the back. So we've got a lot going on, food trucks and everything going on there.
That sounds huge.
Yeah, and a raffle. That's right.
And a raffle.
And a raffle.
And a raffle to boot. Oh, my goodness.
So we'll have lots of vendors there, lots and lots to do, and right at a time, towards the end of November, to where people really are starting to do their Christmas shopping, do a lot of that last minute hustle for.
Oh yeah,
Christmas
everybody go to Marketplace. Much better than Black Friday.
Definitely.
It is on Black Friday weekend, too.
Oh,
so.
there you go.
It's on
Instead of
Black
killing
Saturday.
yourself
Black
at the
Saturday.
mall at Black Friday, go to Marketplace instead, and you'll be able to get something special for everybody on your Christmas list, no matter how kinky or weird they are.
And with any luck, if we keep this thing going, we can just rename Saturday to Black and Blue Saturday.
There you go. There you go. I like that. That sounds like fun. So you mentioned that Thirst is going to come make appearance again.
We are going to be doing that as the after party for Marketplace. So Thirst, after taking a hiatus for nearly a year now, I
I
think.
know, it's been way too long. I used to love doing Thirst.
Feels like forever.
Yeah.
So Thirst will be making a comeback that evening. It'll be the after party for right after the Marketplace, and it's going to be Blitzkrieg, military night.
Oh,
So
how
everything
fun.
from Tank Girl to Pinup Girls.
Nice.
It's gonna be an
Tank
awesome
Girl's
night.
like one of my favorite movies of all time. Oh, that's my favorite Lori Petty movie.
All I know is I need to find somebody to ride on top of a really big cannon. That's all that really matters for that evening.
Well, I'm sure that you'll have no trouble finding a volunteer to do that. What girl doesn't want to ride a big cannon?
And so you can make it a human tank. You can take it one step
There you
further.
go.
Yes, you could.
Girls on roller skates.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Definitely
gonna make it happen.
All right, somebody's got some ideas cooking here.
So what else did I miss for Marketplace? I'm pretty sure.
Marketplace. We have vendors, raffle performers, and community presenters who are representing 4 of the big events at Sanctuary: WIC, Gentleman in Charge, BDSM 101, the 4-week class series, and LA Next Gen with Mr. Gabriel.
Definitely.
So,
Nice.
as well as anyone else in the community who wants to have their information out there, we want people to go and be inspired to be more involved in what's going on with classes, socials, lunches, parties. Food truck, obviously, because we want to feed people. Yeah.
Gotta feed the animals from time to time.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, otherwise they get a little unruly. You know, and you can only beat them down for so long.
Well, that's a matter
Depends
of
on
perspective.
your mood for the day, perspective, intention.
But we have the group on Fat Up. If anybody wants to either be a vendor, be a volunteer, a performer, go to the group. There's information like an email, sanctuarymarketplace@gmail.com. And you can contact either Master Gabriel or I, and we can get you involved.
So, Piggy, we expect you there to be helping.
Yes, Peggy, you heard him. Another question in that chat room now.
Piggy's going to be in California on October 21st to the 25th.
Nice.
So she'll see you guys.
Right after
Yay.
we're back.
Yeah.
Very good.
From Atlanta.
Excellent.
Good.
All right. Well, induct her in.
We'll have a paddle waiting.
I love it. Oh my gosh.
Well, that's not all.
No, it's not.
It's not.
It's not?
You act like
Yeah,
you act like we're almost
It's over,
done.
folks. No, I'm leaving. Cassie's bored. No. So go ahead and let everybody know your contact information. How do they get involved in this marketplace thing? Is there a website for the Thirst, for Marketplace, for Gentlemen in Charge?
That's what Birdie's for. Birdie.
For Gentlemen in Charge, well, for everything can be found on FetLife. Master Gabriel's FetLife username is Ravenblood, RAVYNBLOOD, and you can see everything on his page. But Gentlemen in Charge has a group, as does Thirst LA and Sanctuary Marketplace, all on FetLife, and the events are all up for all 3. So RSVP, start clicking around, you'll find everything on his page. I'm Bird on the Brim, you'll find everything on my page as well. for all 3 of those events.
Excellent, excellent. So that's how you contact them, and it sounds like these are going to be some really fabulous events.
Yeah, we got a lot of work going into them. A lot of people in the household helping out. So it's gonna be big.
It's a family affair.
Yay! That just means I need a bigger whip.
Is Buffy and Jody going to be there too, and Mr. French? You look like Mr. French.
Oh, yay!
You have the beard, you know.
Beard's important.
That makes you head of household because you've got a beard.
You know, I'm coming to that conclusion.
The power of the beard. Is there a question in that chat room though?
Yes, how did you get started into BDSM? Both of your stories.
Both of our stories. Would you like to go first?
Would you like me to go first, sir?
Both of whose stories? Cassie's and mine, or Birdie's and mine?
No, you and your submissive.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're
me and my submissive.
Yeah, they already know about me.
By all means, my dear.
I'm fairly new. I mean, I've known that I was kinky for a really long time. You know, as early as like 9.
It is
But-
early.
Yeah, I enjoy the aspect of being completely controlled. So I would play doll with my friends, and I would stay still while they did, you know, dress me up or pose me.
Aw,
So, and that's been for a long time. So,
that's cute.
thank you. But I got involved in the scene after some soul searching about a year and a half ago, and made some really good friends. Got introduced to a lot of people thanks to Marshall Spanky. He really held my hand at my first munches, and I met my play partner, my best friend, another really good friend through him. And then I started going to Mistress Melissa classes, and she's my mentor. So I've been working with her for a while. It seems like I've known her my whole life.
Oh, she is a sweetheart.
Yes. And at the beginning of this year, I met Master Gabriel. And I identify as a masochist and a submissive. And it's been great. I've really just, I've found the balance to my own life by finally embracing this part of me. You know,
Nice.
It's been really aching to come out for a long time. And I feel it. My friends look at me and they say I look healthier and I seem more calm and more happy. And
Yes, the new glow.
well, you know, and it's because you are true to your own self now. You know, every part of you is satisfied. Your soul is satisfied. Your mind, every aspect of you, and that's what I'm feeling.
Oh,
You
I'm
know?
so happy for
Yeah.
you. I'm wonderful to hear that.
Thank you.
And what's your story, Master
Oh, mine's a
Gabriel?
whole different story, right? Well, I mean, obviously I started off quite like everybody else, was kind of behind closed doors and in the bedroom, and you know, a little slap and tickle, you know, it's a little fun in the bedroom. A couple arrow shafts to somebody's rear end, you know, that kind of thing. Around the same time, I would say probably about 95, 96, I started working my first job at Tandy Leather and began learning more and more about leather work. Did Renaissance Fair quite a bit. So it wasn't until later on when the two really kind of converged. And so through the years, I had always had an interest in blood play and knives and such. So that kind of built up through over time. Leather work just kind of happened to fall in place with it. And God, I don't even remember what year it is. It's probably about 8 or 10 years ago now. I went to Sanctuary in Reseda, I think it was, where it originally was.
Yes.
And a friend of
I
mine
do
had taken
remember.
me there to show a pair of cups that I had made because he thought that it'd be great for the BDSM room, or BDSM world rather. And showed Cyan, she loved it, invited me to come along to DomCon. And you know, eventually, you know, years later, Cyan became my mentor. I've learned, God, I have gobs of stuff from a plethora of different people. Been able to meet such wonderful people in this whole realm of places. And oddly enough, more Eagle Scouts than anywhere else I've ever known.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Since I myself am an Eagle Scout, so yeah, that makes me giggle. But yeah, it's really been an interesting ride, and not exactly where I intended necessarily for anything to go. It just kind of worked out the way that it has. Gone from knowing nobody in the scene to, you know, being the voice of DomCon now, and you know, getting a chance to know everybody.
Well, that's a pretty amazing journey. You know, that truly is. You know, and I have to admire the way that you got into this, the mentoring, and because there's so many people out there that just decide, oh, I'm going to do this, and I'm a Dom, and they don't bother to get training, bother to work under a mentor. You know.
I made the mistake of walking into Cyan's office and saying, what does it take to be a master? I'm just kind of curious as to what this is about. And next thing I know, I'm underneath her, working as her, with her as my mentor, and reading gobs of books and doing all kinds of fun things.
That is amazing, because I have to tell you, not one of my dominants ever had me read anything.
No?
Nope. No, everybody just assumed that they actually trained me. I learned absolutely everything on my own.
I'm fairly certain my household looks at the book list I asked them to read, and either they say they've read it already, or they kind of faint at the amount of books. One of the two.
Though my former dominant, he did tell me to read the story of O. Chose not to. Sorry. Is there somebody in that chat room now?
Yes, Master Gear is in the chat room, and he
Mr.
says
Gear?
Steven Star V and I are watching, sending our love.
Aww.
Hi,
So we're all
everybody.
watching the show, and so maybe they will give us some hard questions that they only know the answer to
And
for you guys to answer.
While we're at it,
Good.
since I know full well that she's watching, meow.
Nice. I'm sure that's got personal significant meaning.
Oh,
You
yes,
found it
definitely.
quite amusing.
Yes, I found it quite amusing. So I don't know. Mr. Gear's got quite a few stories with me. He's been to Atlanta a few times with me. Been to DomCon several times. I don't know, Mr. Gear. Should we talk about getting locked out of the room in Atlanta? What happens when you lock her out of the room?
Oh, I want to hear that story.
Oh, I have pictures of that story.
You have
I have
pictures?
pictures of that story.
Oh my God.
It's a fantastic story.
Well,
And
tell us the fantastic story.
well, he got up to the room before I did because I was busy with stuff, and got up there, and for whatever reason the latches on that stupid door were just all kinds of wonky. So I try to get in the hotel room door, and it's not opening much more than an inch or two. So I'm standing at the door hollering at him. He's in the shower. All he hears is my voice, and I hear him go, "Hi!" And I'm standing at the door going, "Open the damn door!" So I'm waiting there and waiting there and waiting there. He gets out of the shower, and he comes out of the shower, and he's all happy because he found the mini fridge.
Oh.
And I hear him pass by the door, and he goes into the room, and he goes, "I found the mini fridge." And kind of see him looking around, and meanwhile I'm still at the door going, "Open the damn door, Gear." And I can almost hear him pucker as he goes, "Oh shit."
Aw.
Later on the next day, Mistress Melissa happens to be in our booth.
Oh my.
And she happens to mention, hey, maybe Gear should, I don't know, play with some of these things, try on some of these things. And I turn to her and I say, by all means, play dress up. He's all yours. You locked me out of the room. This is what happens.
Nice.
And she paraded him up and down that aisle in all kinds of wonky nonsense, from a strap-on with a dragon tail hanging out the tip of it to a pink whatever on his neck and all kinds of funky stuff.
Oh, I can just imagine.
It was hilarious.
And you got pictures of that?
Oh, I have a picture of it, of course. I got to blackmail him somehow.
I love it. The family that blackmails together stays together.
So right about now, if I know Gear, he's about, 20 shades of tomato red.
Uh-huh.
And trying to hide right at the moment as everybody else in the room is laughing at him.
Is he hiding now, or is he in the chat room?
Oh, he's in the chat room, and he says, but what about the moose?
The moose.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to have the moose. Can't do that. Yeah. I'm sure that there's more stuff going on. What is there going on?
Right now.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
she keeps talking about things I'm doing to people.
Which is fun. You're a sadist, sir.
Master,
you
Master
have-
Gear
you have
said he
glasses.
looked sexy.
I'm sorry?
Master Gear said I looked sexy.
You look sexy?
He did when Mrs.
Oh,
Melissa
he
dressed
did.
him.
He was rawr and everything.
Uh-huh.
He's fierce.
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 Oh, I love that word, fierce. That is a good word. Speaking of fierce, some of your leather work is quite fierce. I mean, I
Thank you.
love looking at some of your stuff. You had like these leather roses one time, and
Still have
doing
those.
different things, and compared to a lot of the other leather vendors that I've seen to come to events, you have some really unique
Well, I
items.
appreciate that, and I would hope that I would after, God, it's been 95 when I first actually started training in some kind of leather work. So since then, I've worked in just about every angle of the leather industry, short of selling couches. You know, I've worked in the tanning facilities. I've worked in the actual leather selling facilities. I've made leather work. So I've had a unique experience in being able to see pretty much every angle that there is on leather.
So what is your product line including now? Is it just toys? Have you expanded to clothing?
Don't really do clothing a whole lot, primarily because there's so many people already in the game that have been doing it for a few years, and you know they know their stuff. So I'll leave it to them. For right now, I do clothing. I do toys. I do various things, like you said, the leather roses that are fully deerskin. They're all molded deerskin. Cuffs, collars, a lot of custom pieces. So I don't really. I'm sorry.
Masks.
Yes, the blinder masks are definitely a popular item.
And weren't you dabbling in some like kitty ears there for a while?
I am messing with kitty ears, and now thank you to some of our newest entries into the household, starting to work on some equestrian gear.
Nice.
So we'll have some pony play stuff coming out.
Very nice.
Probably not in time for Atlanta. I'm kind of hoping maybe I can have a couple pieces, but definitely working on some pieces.
But you'll definitely have them for Marketplace.
I should, yes. Yes.
So there you go. You guys need to go to Marketplace to check out these new lines he's going to have in his product line.
Definitely.
You know?
And of course, have the Dragon Tails as always. The Dragon Tails very popular. Nobody else makes Dragon Tails like I do.
No, they don't. They really don't.
Yeah, fun times.
You know, but I'm excited to hear about the pony gear stuff because, you know, I get people contacting me from time to time going, where do I get my stuff, you know?
Right.
And I'll be glad to refer them your way.
Oh, yeah. I've got Star to try things on, so it's going to be great.
Yay.
May I mention your website, sir?
Absolutely.
Oh, website away.
So the website for the leather is rbleather.com. R as in Raven, B as in Blood, leather.com.
Very good. Hey, is there any more questions in that chat room yet?
No, but Master Gear said LA Next Gen, nonverbal communication, is this Saturday before indulgence at between 7 and 9.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, very good.
And what was the website again for your
For the
choice?
leather, it's rbleather.com.
There you go, rbleather.com.
Now, much like Gentleman in Charge, where we change every month, we change what it is that we're talking about. And LA Next Gen does the same thing. They change every month what they're talking about. They have a new presenter every time. This time, I believe V will actually be heading up nonverbal communication. So it should be a very interesting class.
Oh, that should be interesting.
And whereas Gentleman in Charge does the fourth Friday every month, LA Next Gen does the fourth Saturday every month. So this month it's a little wonky. Make sure you're paying attention to your calendars. But they're usually in line back to back. Occasionally you get a month like this one where LA Next Gen's a week before.
No,
Oh, look, there's my website.
they're back to back, sir, this month.
Oh, is it this month?
This Friday's JC and this Saturday is LA Next Gen.
Right, okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's one month that does it.
Okay, so there you go,
Last
everybody.
month,
There's a happening weekend down at Sanctuary. You can come down and party on Friday and Saturday. It will be awesome.
That whole weekend of Marketplace is going to be fantastic. We got Gentleman in Charge the night before on Friday,
Nice.
Marketplace Saturday, Thursday, Saturday night. So basically we're not sleeping for 72 hours.
Okay. All right. And how are you going to manage that?
Lots and lots of 5-hour energy.
Oh, you're a 5-hour energy man.
I already burned out Red Bull long ago.
Yeah. That stuff's nasty anyways.
It's like carbonated Pez.
Oh, I was going to say carbonated piss, but
That's awesome.
I'm sorry to just, I smell that stuff and I think of cow's urine. I'm just, ugh. Sorry, Red Bull, I don't mean to dish you. I'm just not an energy drink person.
Well, I guess that.
We'd like you a lot more if you decided to sponsor Gentleman in Charge.
Yeah, I guess that cancels them sponsoring TSR Network.
Oh, no. Well, if you guys want to sponsor TSR Network, I will learn to like energy drinks. But only if you sponsor us. Oh, I'm sorry. I just have a big problem with, it's like, where has our nutrition gone where we have to put everything in a can to get by for the day? What happened to eating real fruits and vegetables and, Neat.
I don't know. I remember the days of Jolt, so that's.
Oh, God. Oh, man, that stuff's gnarly.
We have Napoleon to thank for all the canned, everything going in the can.
We do.
Mm-hmm. He did it to feed his troops.
Oh,
He put
so
everything in
Napoleon
cans.
did more than just scratch his belly. Does anybody know the secret as to why he was always scratching?
I don't think I want to know.
Probably the fur. I feel like he was a furry guy.
Yeah, he was.
So sweat and fur.
Sweat and fur, that would definitely do it. And those were the days where your scent was something that you cherished and shared with others. It was very common during those days for a man to put an apple underneath his arm, so in a few hours he had a scent on that and present it to his lovely lady as a gift, which
We'll
of
have to
course
try
she would
that. It's gonna be
treasure.
awesome.
I'm actually, I find that endearing. Very personal.
See how endearing
It's
you find it after a cold underneath the house for a few hours.
No, sir. No, thank you, sir.
This from the one who's willing to kneel on Legos.
Well, because it's delicious, sir.
Wow. Well, yes, mankind used to be much more involved in their scent, and then now it's anti-scent. You know, we spend so much
terrible.
time removing the odors from our bodies that we don't smell like human beings anymore.
Pheromones do so much to
They
attract us to
do.
each other. It's
They
very
do.
important to just embrace your own scent.
Well, it is, and the humans used to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I'm still going to remember that when I'm crawling over the house a few hours. See
With
if
the
you
apple?
like it then.
Oh, I enjoyed the thought of you doing that with an apple
With an
underneath your
apple.
arm. I will do that if you can do the whole thing with the apple. Challenge accepted if you accept that challenge.
I'm
Sir.
good with it.
All right,
I'm on
there we go.
there you go. We have the apple challenge. Any challenges in that chat room?
Guest 927 said, can Master Gabriel talk about his upcoming topping series of classes?
Oh, yes. Coming the first of the year, Tops in Training, which is all kinds of fun because it translates to tits, because everybody loves tits.
Mm-hmm. Are you a titiot?
So yes, at the oh, I'm just gonna bury my face in their bosom now. And first of the year, I'll be starting a series called Tops in Training. So not necessarily just for doms or for subs, but anybody who's interested in topping or anybody who's interested in what it means to be a top. So even if you're not a top yourself, be interested in coming to the class series because it kind of gives you an insight as to what it is that you're dealing with from the bottom in regards to your top as well. So it'll be an interesting class series. We'll have everything from actual handling of toys and different ways to do that to more psychological factors, how our micro intuitions play into this. You have a better voice on this one than I do.
Well,
I seem to trip all over myself when I talk about it.
no, not at all, sir. No, but he's right. It's really important. This is what I learned from Mr. Melissa. But it's very important for bottoms to know everything that goes in from both ends. I mean, tops should know what bottoms are going through, and bottoms should know what tops are going through.
Yes.
But because that plays into your negotiation.
Yes, it does.
Negotiating and understanding, level of experience. And it's okay if they're new, but then you should be aware as a bottom what wrapping feels like or what each toy is capable of doing. What are the what's the word? The no-hit areas on the body, and you should also know what they have to go through, how much energy it expels to actually put in a spanking. I saw a picture a couple days ago of a bruised hand. And it's like,
more than once.
Here we are bent over, and we're like, hit us harder, and you guys are like, this hurts. Hit yourself harder.
That's why we have sticks.
Yeah, but you should understand all the energy that goes into those implements.
Yeah, I mean, I run across so many submissives, and they're just like, play with me, play with me, play with me. It's like, do you realize how much it goes into making a good scene? I as the top need to be healthy that day. I need to have the energy to do this. I need to know a little bit about you. It's like they get so disappointed with me when they approach me at a play party. It's like, I'm sorry, I don't know you. You need to get to know me over the course of a few parties. And then, we'll figure something out.
Yeah.
But I don't play with anybody cold.
Yeah, I don't either. I have a 1 month rule. But then on the other spectrum of it, you have tops who don't really know how to approach a bottom, and who may play too hard just from the get-go because they just want to hit, and you have to teach the concept of warm up and cool down, and especially negotiation and, first aid and medical and just everything that you need to know about, because you're essentially laying your hands on a human being.
Well,
and
you
need
are.
to know, like, how to do that.
Well, that, and they also need to know polite ways of approaching people, because I have been in a conversation with some sub, and some guy has decided that he knows better and will interrupt my negotiation with this sub just because he wants to hit on this girl and get in her pants. And if the girl's stupid enough to go with them, I just release her at that point in time and say, you deserve what you get. But I mean, there are things that you need to address on every level. How do you meet people? Is it appropriate to butt in somebody's conversation? I mean, socially it's not, but we got a lot of people in this lifestyle that just thinks, for whatever reason, I'm a dom, I can do whatever the fuck I want. It's like, no.
This happened to us at Bondage Ball. Just right in front of sir.
At Bondage Ball, but really, it's aimed at kind of bringing about a better, more well-rounded people in the scene. Not that people don't know what they're doing, not that people don't go into classes, but really trying to aim at rounding that out and refining those rough edges. You may have gone to several classes and know what you're doing in certain arenas, but maybe not so much in others. And this way we can have a series of classes that touches on everything that really you need to know as a top, which can be translated into being a dom. Can also be translated into something that you really need to know for a submissive. Just because you're on the bottom doesn't mean that you don't need to know your first aid. Doesn't mean that you don't need to know what wrapping is, or how to avoid it, or even how to approach somebody who is topping you when they do something like that. Is it just something that you end a scene for right then and there, or is there a way to go about it?
Yeah, because things do go wrong in scenes. Sometimes as the dominant, you're having an off day. I don't know if that's happening to me, and something doesn't quite go right. I stop what I'm doing. I check in with my bottom. Are you okay? I'm so sorry that happened. Are you hurt in any way? And make sure they're okay before we continue the scene. And that's what you should do. I mean, if you kill your bottom, you cannot play with them again.
and likely you don't play with anybody else for a while.
Exactly, and you might be Bubba's bottom in jail, and that might not be your preference.
Or maybe it is, and you discover a whole new side of yourself.
That's true, but that seems like an awful extreme way to get there.
I agree.
Yes, because I'm sure Bubba would rather be fucking you outside of the cell as well. Question, Mel?
Statements and questions.
Okay.
Pig Carrie says, my 50th birthday will be on Friday. When I get there, can she get a spanking when she comes down?
She can have 50 of them.
And guest 927 is Meow. And guest 927 says, can we see him bury his face into Birdie's bosom? Otherwise, it's just a big tease.
Yeah, well, you know how much I love to tease you, so meow.
And
gotta deny.
And Meow also says, when do the topping classes begin?
We don't have an exact date yet, but we're looking at probably end of January, early February is when we're looking at that, which happens to be just shortly before, I believe around March, I think it is.
March, sir.
That we're looking at also doing a household dynamics class, which we discussed earlier, in regards to, much like what the book will have, things on, how building a household and what kinds of different households they are, what is it that you're looking for, really kind of helping you walk through, and actually in a class format, so we have some one-on-one time, and being able to kind of step through what is it that you're really looking for, what is it that you're willing to pay for that, not necessarily monetarily, but you have time, you have resources, you have things that you have to do. If you're looking for a household such as what we have, I mean, there's a lot of time and energy involved in it. Not every household has to be like that.
No.
So that's what the household dynamics class will be about, and that'll be also in March. So we have a lot going on all year
That
long.
is a lot. That absolutely. But it sounds like a lot of really cool and interesting, helpful classes.
Yeah, should be great.
You know, because I know so many people out there that, they found, good people to be with, but they don't know how to manage it.
Mm-hmm.
And, and there are people out there that can help you with that. And you guys have provided the resource right here.
Yeah.
So smooth and happy sailing.
Oh yeah, that's not even counting the smaller classes that we do, the Dragon Tail. I know Corey's probably dying in her chair right now, waiting for me to talk about violet wands and electroplay.
Mm.
So I do several classes on that as well. Usually about once every 3 months or so, I'll do a violet wand class. Don't have a date quite yet, but keep an eye on my that thing, the FetLife account, and fairly soon we'll have a date actually set up for a electroplay class, which will
Nice.
include not only the violet wand, but will also include tasers, my favorite,
Nice.
and as well as the TENS units.
Very good. And when you teach these classes, do you go over safety measures and how to figure out if somebody is physically fit enough to take electricity?
Absolutely. Even so far as to when we're talking about violet wands, not even necessarily just the person that you're playing with, but some people that are even within the vicinity cannot handle that.
Well, exactly.
They have to be aware of that.
Yeah, we have a girl at the dungeon who has a pacemaker, and we have to let her know if we turn the violet wand anywhere within the dungeon because it can affect her pacemaker.
Yeah, and some people it affects, some people it doesn't. So you really have to be aware of those kind of things.
Well, you do, and I know I personally am not comfortable with violet wand play because I was unconsensually played with a violet wand. I did not give my consent, and they didn't bother to find out that I have an irregular heartbeat.
Mhm.
I was sick for 10 days afterwards, and my legs were burned.
Yeah.
I was pissed.
That'll do it.
So what could have been a wonderful experience for me instead, it's like I'll never try a violet wand as long as I'm one. I'm terrified. I don't ever want to be that sick again.
Well, and some people don't necessarily have, they have a bad experience, not maybe as bad as what you've had, but they've had a bad enough experience where they're really hesitant to it. And a lot of times in the classes that I provide for that, we're really able to at least put it into a safer environment, talk about what exactly is going on, what exactly it is that this violet wand is producing, what it's doing, and that way we can kind of help reintroduce that. In fact, quite a few people that have had bad experiences go through the class and come out willing to play with violet wand again, simply because now they're talking about, they know what they're talking about with the violet wand, they know how to communicate that to whoever it is that's using it on them. So instead of just cranking it up full notch and going gung-ho on it, you start low, go slow. It's one of the pieces that I use in there is slugs. Start low, go slow.
Oh, absolutely. And, I know some of the violet wands, there's actually a piece that the top person attaches to themselves, so they feel the current going through.
Yep. The body plate. I use that all the time.
Do you?
That's one of the biggest things that I show in my classes is using the body plate, and everything from metal objects to mylar balloons to chip bags and soda cans and pieces of tinsel and baby powder and pencils. It's a good time.
It sounds like it. Now, do you use proper attachments for your violet wands, or what happened in my case? This was somebody that was making their own attachments. They fancied themselves an electrician, and it was because of those attachments that I got burned.
I'm not good enough an electrician to be claiming that I can do anything like that. So, no, I purchase them from people that, in particular, I'll purchase most of my stuff from Orchid and Serpent because I know that they're bringing in good quality stuff.
Okay, so you do have resources for people that are interested in buying electrical gear, that they'll be buying it from somebody who's proper, not just some guy that's rigging up some Frankenstein stuff in his garage.
Right, and typically we'll bring Orchid and Serpent along with their gear to begin with, so they have it there, and at the very least, if they're unable to make it, we have cards for them. So we do like to make sure that they have an outlet to be able to get that from.
Excellent, excellent, because I know especially when it comes to specialized kink like that, you want to get the proper gear and you want to know how to use it properly.
Right.
Because this stuff can be so much fun.
Yeah. But
like we said earlier, if you kill your bottom, it creates a big kettle of fish that you may not want to cook up. Fish play.
Is that technically an improv squashing scene?
Fish heads, fish heads. Any questions in that chat room, Mel?
Yes, one. They asking what kind of play do you like to play with? Like, what do you guys like to do?
What do I like to do?
Both of you. All three of you.
Yes, everything. All three of us. Cassie, would you like to go?
Well, I'm of course known for my rope work. That is my true bliss. It's what I really truly love to do is create and rope. And it's not so much the sadist end of it. I actually I fancy myself a rope artist. I like to make, my bottoms comfortable. I like to fly them beautifully in the air. I basically, it's a dance for me, a bondage dance. And that's what truly sings to me. Though I've been told that I'm really good at spanking.
Have you bruised your hands lately?
No, actually I haven't, because over the years I've learned how to spank so that I don't bruise my hands. And there are a lot of techniques out there on learning how to spank properly and when to rest your hands. It's like I turn my hands into floggers at certain times. I use my knuckles and all sorts of different things, and I get all these great sensations out of it that people wouldn't think of. But it's all learning how to save your hands. Because I remember one of my first spanking sessions I had as a professional. It's like I bruised this whole part of my palm because this guy just wanted to be spanked really hard for an hour, and it was a constant
Wow.
And after that long and
That's when you get a hand-shaped paddle.
Yeah, I really could have used one. But he just wanted the OTK bare hand.
Mm-hmm.
So you can learn how to do that without bruising your hand.
You just haven't run into your hand.
Yes. There you go. It's like back that butt up.
You're the sub. I'm tired. Let's do it.
So there you go. I'm a rope person. So, what you think?
My forte has always been blood play, in particular scalpels and carving. I do artistic carving, but I also do a fair amount of other things. I've always actually hated canes until more recently. So I do caning, I do flogging, I do bare hand, I do pressure points, face slapping. I enjoy a pretty wide array of things. My toy bag grows every minute because I always find something useful to do. But for the most part, and actually oddly something that we'll be touching on in Top Spin training is not necessarily the toys that I come up with, but how to use them. I seem to find different ways to utilize them, and being able to look at something and using it for something that it's not really meant for. And canes you usually take for rear end and back of the leg, but they're equally great for bastinato, for the back of the arm, for as Bernie's learned quite a few times.
Well, it's like MacGyver kink is the best. It's like just turn me loose in the kitchen, I will come up with more BDSM toys than you can shake a stick at.
Exactly.
Including a stick.
I obviously love Violet Wand and electric play. I got several tasers. Thank you guys.
Nice. Yes, I do love my stun gun.
Oh, stun guns! I just got for my birthday. That's the 28 million volt.
Only mean thing I do in ropes is I do like to take the stun guns to somebody's nuts.
Nice.
But it's with consent, and I usually like it.
Usually being the key word.
Well, some people don't want to like it, and that's their kink.
Yeah.
And I am happy to oblige.
But oftentimes the most fun toys that I come across are ones that you never even thought of, like Legos. Yes. Oh my God, Legos are just fantastic because they look so innocent. And if you think about it, if you've ever stepped on a Lego in your life, you know what a son of a bitch they are. I'm fairly certain she still has scars on her knees from them, as well as a few other people.
Sadly, they're fading.
Oh, well, we'll have to fix that.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
So, what kind of kink are you into, little girl?
I identify as a heavy masochist, and I enjoy blood a lot. I'm actually doing my first hook suspension this Sunday.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I did an energy pull with my best friend a couple months ago, and cutting lots of needles. I've done 3 needle zippers now. I'm hooked on needle zippers and needles with electricity. I also like electricity a lot, and heavy impact. I prefer sadists, anything from punching to kicking to just, beating me senseless, asphyxiation, breath play, and the psychological aspect of it, just really working on that fear as well.
Oh, there's
So,
nothing like a good mind
You're with me, why?
it really isn't, because you do all those things, sir, and much more.
Well,
Yes.
This sounds like a happy dynamic.
It is.
Any more questions in that chat room now?
No, they're just making comments.
I think Mr. Gear ran away.
Oh, no. And Darren said, well, use a paddle. Your hands are going to hurt.
Yeah.
So they're just sitting, and I just posted the website, the name of it,
Mhm.
Great.
RB Leather on the chat room. So we're
Fantastic.
just listening.
Oh, very good.
Well, good.
Yay. All right. So this Friday, Gentleman in Charge.
This Friday, Gentleman in Charge. There
right.
is I'm pretty sure there's a group, yes? Yes.
There is a group. Also,
This is why I
sir,
have subs. I don't take care of this crap. I just do the other
if I
part.
can mention the changes to Gentlemen in Charge happening this month.
Mhm.
We have a time change. The doors open now at 8:30. The discussions start at 9. The socials at 9:30, and play officially starts at 10, not at 11. At 10. So please make note of all those time changes, so that you can make the most of your night when you come to Gentlemen in Charge on Friday.
Now, is there a website they can go to check this out? Because they may not remember everything you
This
just
is
said.
true. There is not a website, but we have the group on FET, Gentlemen in Charge. We have the event page up, Gentlemen in Charge. It is a private guest list, so you have to email to get on it. That way we can ensure the safety and security for everybody who is there, and that's also how we ensure unrestricted play.
And make sure
Nice.
that you're emailing in individually, because if you have your sub email in for you, that's not going to work.
This
We
is
need
true.
everybody to individually email in.
Oh, very good. So everybody has a say. Is there a question, Mel?
No, but I have a story to tell.
Oh, do tell us.
The first night of
The
Gentlemen.
first night at Gentleman in Charge.
Yes. First night at Gentlemen in Charge. A friend of mine was in from Australia, a girl. So I called up Mr. Cyan and says, can we come? And she said yes. So we went there, and then we went to the door, and they said, you can't come. You're a female. So then Mr. Cyan and Genesis stepped in and go, yes, Rev Mel can go in. So what we did.
Oh, wait a minute. As I recall, I came in and saved you.
Oh, you came into, okay, there were 3 of you guys. So the funny thing is that my friend, Angel from Australia, her and I decided we'd go into the bathroom, and we painted mustaches on our faces. So we walked around with mustaches, and we have photographs of ourselves with mustaches at the event. So we acted like we were men, and we grabbed our balls even if we didn't have them, and we didn't pick up any toys, and we walked around and we talked to everyone. It was the very first night, and it was very pleasant, and we had a lot of fun. Thank you for allowing us, Gabriel, to come into male doms only, but I was there,
Well, it technically is male and male identified, so you were male identified.
And
Yep,
also female and female identified for the submissives.
Yep, the mustache did it.
But that was a grand evening.
Sounds like it was a good time for all, and it's been getting better with every event, I understand.
It has been. We have catering now, so we have catered in food.
Nice.
Bring in a nice little spread. We've got the bar set up, and everything you pay going in. So the DOMs do have to pay going in. Subs are free. But even paying going in, past that point, unless you want to leave a tip for our bartender, which I'm sure she'll appreciate.
Absolutely.
But there's wine, there's sodas, there's water, there's food. All of that is taken care of with your door fee.
Oh.
So everything that's out there past that door is all laying out there for you guys.
Well, there you guys go. It's a fabulous event. Where else can you go to an event like that and get that kind of service?
Nowhere else but GIC.
Awesome. Any final comments in the chat room now?
No, they're just talking among themselves, and
Don't even need us.
Darren is still there, and Oinky Oinky Boinky Miss Big Carrie's there, Master Gear's there, Meow's there, V's there, Steven's there. They're all there, just conversation, and there are still people that are watching that have not come into the chat room, and shame on you, you guys will be beaten tomorrow.
Yeah, now, this is the time for you guys to vote on whether or not Master Gabriel is naughty or nice.
What happens if he's naughty?
Have you played with me recently?
Well, I don't know. What do you think's going to happen if they find him to be naughty?
I don't know. It's your show. I don't know. What happens to your guests when they're voted naughty?
Well, there's always somebody out there to balance it with nice. Yeah, we turn them over my knee and we spank them if they're naughty.
Okay. That's what I was waiting for. Sir.
You're getting too naughty so far. So.
Two naughties.
Steven Starr, I'm watching you.
No, it's Carrie and Rev Mel.
Oh, Carrie, yeah. I see how it is.
Oh.
I'm surprised Exodus isn't in the middle of the chat room chiming in with the naughty.
Yeah, well, I find that nobody's been 100% naughty, nobody's been 100% nice. They come up with some of the greatest combinations of nicely naughty, naughtily nice, and more naughty than nice.
Meow says naughty.
Very good. You guys can do percentages, too. You can go like 75% naughty, 25% nice.
Is pure evil an option? I don't know.
Well, naughty with pure evil, that's I would say, the sky's the limit.
So far, it's all naughty.
Are you pure evil?
I would never tell you that.
Master Grid says naughty. Everybody said naughty.
Oh.
So far, naughty.
Does that mean there's a spanking?
The fact that you're excited about this is, not looking good for you.
Yes, there is a spanking in order here. I think you should lean over your sir's lap and take his naughty spankings.
What you get?
Sir.
I don't know. Are all the quotes in?
They're still saying naughty, 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 naughty. You're not getting any nice, so.
All right, young lady, over the lap.
They said 100% naughty.
100% naughty. Well, now you can no longer say that nobody's been 100% naughty.
That's right. We have
goodness.
pure evil here.
I'm very confused as to what's happening.
I'm aiming you towards the video so everybody can see.
Yes, we need your ass in the camera.
Daria?
Yes, sir. Oh my God, you're gonna lift my dress.
Yeah.
That's only one. How many naughties did we get?
We can do 5.
Oh, there's 5.
Five more.
Oh, wow. In that case, by all means. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And on that happy note, we're going to wrap up the Naughty or Nice show with Miss Cassie. I want to thank you guys all for tuning in. Thank you so much to Master Gabriel and the lovely Miss Birdie.
Thank you.
And I hope you'll join me next week. I'm going to have a surprise for next week. I've narrowed it down to 2 people to have on our show for next week, and then we will be on hiatus for the month of October. So I hope you're going to tune in with me next week and see who I've got in mind. It's going to be a very interesting guest. So good night, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to Naughty or Nice with Miss Cassie.
Bye.
Meow.